Okay, so for 4.8 today, we're going to be doing some converting. Sorry, guys. So we're going to be doing converting. So that's changing one thing to another thing. So we just learned how to do point-slope form, which you should be familiar with. And what you're going to be doing today is converting or changing that form into slope-intercept form, which we learned in our last chapter. So if you remember, slope-intercept form is just y equals mx plus b. So that was from our last chapter. So we're changing what we learned yesterday or a couple days ago, point-slope form, into slope-intercept form. So remember, point-slope form is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So that's what we've been doing for the last couple days. So here's an equation that's in point-slope form, and your job today is to make this equation look like this, slope-intercept form. So changing this to this. So what do we need to do to convert that? Well, if we look at this equation, right away, the first thing I see is that there's some distributive property going on here. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. So you're going to do, remember, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So we're going to have to do some distributive property. So distribute, that's the first step. And then you're going to have to get y by itself by doing opposite operations. Okay, so just solving the equations. All right, so let's go ahead and try some, and then we'll try to graph it if we can. So here's a couple equations in point-slope form, and we need to convert it or change it into slope-intercept form. So all of our answers should look like this, mx plus b. All right, so first thing we're going to do is distribute. So right here, I see I can distribute that 3 to everything in the parentheses. So if I do that, I'm left with y minus 1 equals 3 times x is 3x. And then 3 times a negative 4 would give us a negative 12. Okay, so I've distributed. That's my first step. Still doesn't look quite like this because I have something with the y here. So in order to get the y completely by itself, my second step would be to get rid of this minus 1. So we're going to do the opposite operation when we have something like this. So we're going to add 1 on both sides because negative 1 plus 1 gives you nothing, so that's gone. Now if you look over here, what you're going to add it to is what's like with it. So it would be the 12, just the number. So we're going to add 1 over here. Okay, so what we're left with on this side is y. I'm going to bring down everything that's left. And when we do a negative 12 plus 1, we get a negative 11. So now this is in slope-intercept form. Here's my m, here's my b, and I've got slope-intercept form. Okay? All right, let's try this one. Don't freak out with the fractions. They're actually pretty simple. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute. So we're going to distribute that half to everything in the parentheses. So when we do that, we're going to bring down what's left. So half times x would just be half of x. And when you do half of negative 8, just think about what's half of 8. So half of 8 would just be negative 4. Okay, you could do that in your calculator, but if you know what half of something is, it's as simple as doing that. So dividing it by 2. All right, we're still not done. We have one more step. We've distributed. Now we need to just do the opposite operation. So we're going to add 3 on both sides. So we have y equals 1/2 x minus 1. So we have our m, we have our b. It's in slope-intercept form. Okay, so now for the fun part. That was just converting it. Let's take it one step further, and we're going to have to find the slope-intercept form with just this information given. So let's talk about what we have. We have a slope, and we have a point. That's all we have. So hopefully you're thinking back to a couple days ago. The only thing you can do with a point and a slope is put it in point slope form. Now that's not what they're asking for, but that's the only thing you can do as a first step, is write it in point slope form. Can't do this yet with this information. So let's do point slope form real quick. So we're going to do y minus your y equals slope x minus your x. Okay, so we put it in point slope form. Let's simplify it, add those up. Okay, so we've done that. They want it in slope intercept form. So now, since we've practiced, we know how to convert or change point slope form into slope intercept form, what they want. So that's when we're going to distribute, and then we're going to add the opposite. Okay, so let's change it. Let's convert it, what we've been practicing. So first you're going to distribute this 2 to everything in the parentheses. So we're left with y minus 5 equals 2 times x is 2x. 2 times a positive 3 would be positive 6. Okay, almost there. One more step. I'm going to do the opposite on both sides, so plus 5. So we're left with y equals 2x plus 11. All right, not too bad. You just have to go from point slope to slope intercept. PS to SI. Okay, so let's try number 4. I want you to try to pause me and try it on your own if you feel like you know what you're doing. So let me try this out. So we have a slope and a point. The only thing we can do is put it in point slope form first. So we're going to do y minus your y is equal to slope x minus your x. So we've put it in point slope. Let's simplify where we can. And now we're going to put it in slope intercept form. So we have y plus 4, and we're going to distribute that 1/3 to everything. So 1/3 x. 1/3 times 6 is just 1/3 of 6. So really you're just dividing it by 3. So what you're left with is 2. You can just type it into your calculator if you want, but that's the short way to do it. All right, last step is we're going to do the opposite, minus 4, minus 4. So y is equal to 1/3 x plus a negative 2, or just minus 2. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the back. There's a lot of problems here. I would like us actually to stop. I'm not going to go through these on the video. This is something that I want us to all try together. So if you want to get a head start and try those, then you can. And if you need help, let me know.